While wooden coasters have been passed up from a technology standpoint, they are still very prevalent throughout the entire theme park world, and there are a lot of theme parks that could definitely profit from having one. In this video, I'll bring up 25 different theme parks around the world that either don't have a wooden coaster or could use a newer one. These parks will be listed in alphabetical order by their name. Number 1. Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is one of the best parks in the entire United Parks chain, formerly known as SeaWorld Entertainment. They have a wide array of attractions and many awesome roller coasters, and in fact they did have a wooden roller coaster from the 1999 season through 2015. This was Gwazi, and it was actually a dueling GCI coaster. It has since been RMC'd into Iron Gwazi. Number 2. Carowinds. This is one of Six Flags Entertainment Corporation's favorite parks. Actually, they do have a wooden coaster that's been operating since 1994, and it's known as Hurler. This attraction was built by International Coasters, and is generally seen as a so-so experience. A park of this quality definitely deserves better, especially if Hurler one day gets RMC'd. Number 3. Cedar Point. This is the crown jewel of the legacy Cedar Fair side of the Six Flags chain. The park currently features one wooden coaster, and it is Blue Streak. This is a classic attraction, originally opening way back when in 1964. I just think that Cedar Point deserves a more modern wooden coaster to complement the classic Blue Streak. Number 4. Dream World in Australia. We go out of America for the first time and go to one of Australia's best theme parks. Seems like Dream World is doing a lot of things right between the roller coasters and the zoo animals. This park is on a pretty good clip in their investment too. They've seen 3 coasters since 2021 added to the park. Number 5. Energylandia. Someone tell me how it's possible that this incredible Polish theme park doesn't have a wooden coaster? This park gets coasters at an almost alarming rate, and they're already at 19 after just 10 years of operation. The way this park invests into new rides and attractions, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did indeed see a wooden coaster come here in the near future. Number 6. Fuji-Q Highland. This is one of Japan's best theme parks, especially for roller coasters. They are known for taking risks, breaking records, and providing some of the best thrill rides in all of Japan. And with Dodonpa being removed, maybe they can use that plot of land for a big new coaster. Number 7. Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. Now this one is a little more difficult from a space standpoint. It does ultimately make more sense to have steel coasters here because of how complicated construction is at Glenwood Caverns. This park's setting is indeed a blessing and a curse. I would still love to see them get an investment like this though, as it would really round out their coaster collection. And it would give them something a lot different than their current standout coaster, Defiance. Number 8. Hansa Park. This park is located in Germany and looks like one of Europe's great theme parks. Their 2 Gerstlauer coasters certainly have a lot to do with that. The Schwernis is the star. This is the biggest and best coaster Gerstlauer has ever built, especially for their Infinity Coaster model. Flug von Novgorod is no slouch as well, by the way. These are 2 excellent standout coasters from Gerstlauer. However, it would be nice to see this park add something that is almost as good as these 2 coasters, but that stands out as being completely different. If they did this park would be even higher on my bucket list. Number 9. Holiday Park. This is another German theme park, and in a lot of ways, it is known for one ride, and that is Expedition G-Force. This intimate mega coaster looks like one of the company's better creations, as it features a twisted layout with a lot of airtime hills. This park doesn't get new coasters too often. Expedition G-Force opened in 2001, their Skyrocket 2 opened in 2014, and they got a kids coaster in 2018, but they do have a couple coasters scheduled for 2026, which is good to see. Number 10. Lagoon. Jumping back over to the United States, we have Utah's best theme park, and it's not even close. This independent park has an impressive array of roller coasters, including Cannibal, an in-house built attraction that has one of the craziest drops in the world. Now, they do have a wooden coaster, properly named Roller Coaster, but it opened all the way back in 1921. This ride seems to be running pretty well, and the Millennium Flyers it got a few years ago definitely helps, but I would like to see Lagoon add a more modern wooden coaster. Maybe they'll think about it with their next coaster edition. Number 11. Lost Island Theme Park. Now this park is pretty new as it opened just a few years ago in 2022. Point is, they haven't had a lot of time to add one quite yet. They opened with 2 coasters, added Matugani the following year, which was supposed to open opening year, but because of some part issues had to be delayed a year, and they're getting an RMC Raptor this year. I look forward to seeing where this park goes, and a wooden coaster, maybe one of the family variety, would do really well here. Number 12. Movie Park Germany. This studio-themed park originally opened in 1967 and looks to have some cool roller coasters and attractions themed to different franchises. This park doesn't get a new coaster every year, but they do get one every 3 to 5 years, which is a pretty good path to be on. Now it's worth noting that this park does indeed have Bandit, which is a wooden coaster. This just happens to be one of the most hated wood coasters in the world. Because of this, Movie Park would do well to RMC this coaster and then add a wooden coaster to replace it in the future. At least that's how I see it. Number 13, Nagashima Spa Land. This is one of those cases, and we'll see this many times when we talk about the Six Flags parks later, where the park RMC'd their only wooden coaster, and it left them without a coaster in that genre. The coaster in question is Hakuge, and this Rocky Mountain construction coaster looks absolutely incredible and like one of the best coasters that they have ever converted. That said, it would still be cool to see this Japanese theme park fill that niche once again. Number 14, Parque Warner Madrid. Let's go to Spain for the first time in this video. Parque Warner is very similar to Movie Park Germany in a lot of ways. Not only do they also have rides, lands, and roller coasters themed to different franchises, but they also have a terrible wooden coaster. This time it's an RCCA creation in Coaster Express. Safe to say, this ride is not particularly well loved, and because of that, Parque Warner needs to decide what they want to do with this coaster. I'll restate my plan for Movie Park Germany in this instance as well. How about you RMC Coaster Express and then add a wooden coaster to fill that gap? Number 15, Phantasialand. Now this is kind of an interesting case because of the size of Phantasialand. It would probably be admittedly difficult to add a wooden coaster here. Most of their coasters wind all the way around, through, and under their respective areas. The use of space at Phantasialand is truly remarkable. So, while it would be difficult from a logistics standpoint, it would be really cool to see them do it, and I know they would theme it up to the nines, just like they have with every other attraction in the park. Number 16, SeaWorld Orlando. We have a run of American parks coming up, and SeaWorld Orlando is the first on the list. This park has no shortage of awesome coasters, from Manta to Kraken to Mako to Icebreaker. And the ride lineup here is improving year by year. In the Battle of Orlando theme parks, they could stand out and provide the best wooden coaster in the region. Number 17, SeaWorld San Diego. This is of course another SeaWorld park. San Diego has seen a tremendous amount of investment in the last 15 years. SeaWorld has built this coaster collection up to be pretty respectable, even if it's not that big. They have a couple family-friendly launch coasters, a thrill launch coaster, and a B&M dive coaster. Journey to Atlantis is currently SB&O, and while they could use a kids coaster, I think a wooden coaster would be an even better addition to this park. More specifically, how about a Gravity Group family wood coaster? Number 18, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is a park I have a lot of experience with, and after Roar was RMC'd into Joker, Discovery Kingdom was left without a wooden coaster. They do have a 150-foot height limit, but that's not the reason why they haven't replaced that. Not many coasters of the wood variety go above that height. It would be good to see them fill this gap again, especially with California's Great America and their wooden coasters closing in the near future. Number 19, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This is again a park that had their only wooden coaster RMC'd. This is the testing ground of the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation and the legacy Six Flags side of the chain. A new wood coaster probably wouldn't be that much of a prototype, unless they got one with a couple inversions or something like that. Then maybe it would be the testing ground for that type of experience at the chain. Number 20, Six Flags New England. Now this is a situation where there is an RMC at the park in Wicked Cyclone, but there is also an old wooden coaster in Thunderbolt. This ride opened back in 1941 and looks like a nice, pretty chill, family-friendly wood coaster, but they could definitely use a more high-intensity modern wooden attraction. Good news is they're filling the launch coaster gap this year, so maybe they can address this gap in the future. Number 21, Six Flags Mexico. Okay, I want you to guess, why is this park on the list? That's right, this park also had one wood coaster and had it RMC'd. You're shocked to hear it, I know, but don't worry, there's more. Six Flags Mexico looks like a pretty solid park actually, and could use a wood coaster for sure to complement Medusa and Superman. And as I just mentioned, there are indeed two more parks that have the exact same situation as the last couple, so we'll run through those real quick. Number 22 is Six Flags Over Georgia, and number 23 is Six Flags Over Texas. These are legacy Six Flags parks, so you know that they have an RMC, which is not necessarily a bad thing, by the way. We love them. But it's actually a little bit different between the two because Six Flags Over Texas does have one wooden coaster remaining, Judge Roy Scream. This isn't nearly as old as some of the other wooden coasters we talked about, as it opened in 1980. Don't get mad at me, 1980 is not old. At least they still have this one, and it seems to be a solid representative for the genre. Over Georgia doesn't have a single one left. 2 more to round it out. Number 24, Wallaby Holland. And even though this isn't a Six Flags park, we have the exact same situation. This park had a wood coaster in Robin Hood, but it was RMC'd to make way for Untamed. This 5-inversion coaster is no doubt better than the coaster it replaced. And how awesome would it be to have your top 4 consist of a new wood coaster, Lost Gravity, Untamed, and Goliath? That's a pretty darn good top 4. Last but not least is number 25, Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. This park is doing a lot right, and they already have a few standout coasters in DC Rivals Hypercoaster, Green Lantern, and Superman. Like I mentioned with Wallaby Holland, a new wooden coaster would make for a pretty sweet top 4, and people would only want to go more and more to this park. And so, this is the last of the 25 parks I thought of that could use a wooden coaster. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think these parks need wooden coasters, or are they just fine as they are? Let me know down below, and if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you for sticking around. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.